Hey guys, my name is Dan, and for the last coming up 2 years now, I have been in the world of freelance digital marketing. Every month I've been putting together a video just like this about a different aspect of the industry to explain the highs and lows and give you a bit of a reality check as to what digital marketing life is like. This month I wanted to cover off digital marketing apprenticeships. The reason being is that I had a couple of emails and messages from different people, I think in the States, who contacted me about how to essentially go about getting a digital marketing apprenticeship. They can be really useful experiences to have. They can set you up on a really good career path for digital marketing. But the big question is how do you get your foot in the door in the first place in order to be able to get a digital marketing apprenticeship? So the most important thing you've got to be aware of with digital marketing apprenticeships is that they vary hugely. And by vary, I mean they vary in the responsibilities you're going to take, whether they're paid or unpaid, what kind of work you're going to be doing, and how high the barrier is set in order to be able to get on them in the first place. Some can just be unpaid work, in essence. Others can be really structured training programs, which are, in the truest sense of the word, an apprenticeship, where you will come out having done a number of years of work and be fully versed in the skills that you need to take on a digital marketing role. If you're looking for digital marketing apprenticeships, they are everywhere. There is no central source, particularly in the UK. There is lots of different places. If you're thinking about apprenticeships, literally start Googling it, speak to education providers, or if there is somewhere which particularly takes your fancy, research them and just contact them. A lot of times I hear sort of comments like, oh well, this place isn't advertising that they want apprenticeships. So what? Just contact them. Making those relationships and trying to establish those connections with people who may be able to offer you apprenticeships is kind of the first step to getting your foot in the door with anywhere. So if you have found somewhere which you like the look of, however you found it, the next major hurdle is going to be having an interview. Now, some of them will literally be super informal meetings, others will be a lot more structured and a lot more official. That is when the panic seems to set in on a lot of people. Not only the fact that you may not have a huge amount of experience in doing interviews, and that's okay. It's more the fact that you go, how am I gonna do this based on the fact that I'm entering an industry which I have potentially no experience in? How are you supposed to demonstrate that you are the right person to fill the apprenticeship? And to be honest, from my perspective, it's a case of being enthusiastic. Now, I'm aware of how woolly that sounds. You're going to go in and go, hey, I really want this apprenticeship. And it's like, well, yeah, so does everyone. But demonstrating a level of enthusiasm comes in a few different ways. The first is to make sure that whatever organisation that you are applying to, you have read and researched as much as you possibly can about them. You don't need to remember every fact and figure, but you do need to be able to go in, and when they sit down and when they invariably ask you, so what do you know about us? You actually have a competent response that you can offer. The other big area though, of course, is experience. Now, naturally, you're not going to be applying for an apprentice role if you have got loads and loads of experience. But the fact is that a lot of people do worry about the fact that they may have no experience whatsoever, that digital marketing as an industry is totally new to them. Now, the thing that is going to help you stand out is to spend some time researching and learning. Now, that's the thing that you're going to be doing on your apprenticeship anyway, so it makes sense to have a bit of a head start. In that, go out and try and research different clients or different projects that organisation is already working on, so you come a bit armed with some additional knowledge about what it is that company does. And then be ready to understand a bit more about the different areas of digital marketing that you may want to work in. It doesn't matter if you do end up working in them or not, but just have a bit of a feel about what is out there. So you might be really interested in learning a bit more about SEO, or actually social media is your thing and you really want to get into the side of content creation. That's great. Just have a bit of a look as to what those things are, what they entail, and what you could be doing with a role like that in the future. Again, if you've got all this prepared when you sit down and have a chat with an employer, at least it's showing a degree of enthusiasm. Digital marketing as an industry at large is a very fast moving industry. There are always lots of changes, there are always lots of things we need to keep on top of as digital marketers, but that means also that you have a fantastic source and pool of knowledge that you can learn from to help your job, but also again a source of knowledge that you can bring to an interview. So I will stick a couple of links below for examples. All you need to be going in with is a level of enthusiasm and be able to demonstrate that you have spent some additional time, some additional effort and some additional energy in learning a bit more about the wider industry. Then it comes to the case of obviously waiting to see what happens if you are successful or not, because sometimes, particularly with more formal organisations, you could be waiting a number of months before actually your apprenticeship starts. Now, depending on what you're doing in the meantime, and obviously depending on your life circumstances, you should in theory still have a good chunk of time available to be able to almost start implementing some of those things that you might have picked up along your research. That's not to say that what you're going to be doing in that time is going to be what you're going to be doing for the rest of your career, but it is just good to have a play around with these different things. It is so easy to learn a lot of this in theory, but actually applying this and putting it into practice is a whole different ballgame. So if you've got time on your hands, I would really recommend that you just have a go at a lot of this stuff. You don't need to wait or be given permission to do any of this stuff. So it's just, for example, say you wanted to get into an apprenticeship on social media. Now, you've done your research about actually what, from a business's perspective, social media entails, and you've got a bit of an understanding. There is absolutely nothing to stop you from using those principles in setting up, say, an Instagram account about something you're really passionate about. So just for example, say you are really into food. There is nothing to stop you from actually setting up a food-based Instagram account. Now, that puts you immediately in the front of how to do proper food photography. That immediately puts you in front of learning about using tools for scheduling and engagement. Then if you have an Instagram business account, you can start looking at the various analytics that draws back and how to create engaging content. Now, in the meantime, great, that provides you with an asset that you can potentially use as a reference point for any future work experience or jobs, because you can say, I did that. You'll learn from it, certainly, because you'll either learn from mistakes you made that you can later correct, and it just gives you something fun to do. Now, ultimately, if you are passionate about working in the digital marketing industry, you should be able to find the time and the energy to do this. Now, hopefully, when you start the digital marketing apprenticeship, what it means is that you have a lot more confidence in just having a go and getting a feel for actually what real marketing life is like. Because in saying all that, everyone looks at, say, a food Instagram account and go, oh, that looks so good. And in reality, there are some amazing bits with doing some stuff like that, because I've done it in the past. But at the same time, there are some really tedious bits. There are lots of data that you need to analyze, and there is a lot of wrangling with various different people, lots of messaging and lots of organization that goes behind the scenes. So what I'm saying is that in that time between you've done your interview and when you start a digital marketing apprenticeship, you should hopefully be able to pick up some genuine, very valuable experience about all the good and bad bits and sort of everything in between to give you a really honest insight into what digital marketing life is like. The big thing with any of that is that, particularly with apprenticeships, is that a lot of candidates will just go in and go like, yeah, I'm super passionate about digital marketing. But you will have the examples and the evidence to support that claim. And that will be something that will really help you to stand out from the crowd and hopefully help you win that digital marketing apprenticeship. So I hope that helps. As always, if you guys have got any questions about digital marketing life or about digital marketing apprenticeships, then as always, feel free to stick a comment in the box below, or I will stick my social profiles on there if you want to ask a question privately as well. So thanks ever so much for watching. As always, it's really appreciated that you guys watch these. And if you want to see what genuine digital marketing life is like, then make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. So I will leave it there and I will catch you next time. Thanks very much for watching.